Okay, right. Well, Darren, obviously a very difficult time for everyone associated with the club. I mean, how have the last couple of weeks been?
Yeah, very horrible. It's not been nice. It's been a process of emotions. Yeah, it's been horrible. There's no way to kind of build it up or play it down. It's I never thought in the last 20 years as a full-time coach, professional coach, that we would have to deal with something like this. It's not something I want to deal with again, let me tell you. And yeah, it's been tough, but I've got to say the players and the staff have been absolutely magnificent throughout.
Because I suppose at times, especially for the players, there's a lot of them will look to you for that sort of leadership you're used to giving in a footballing sense, but this is very, very different.
Yeah, no, I take it very seriously. What I've done to try and cope is I've tried to consume myself in my duty and my responsibilities, and when I say things to you, I know there's many a coach or manager out there that kind of twists and manipulates what they say to the press, that differentiates between what's going on inside the building. I don't do that. That's not in my makeup. I can't get away with that. And when I say that we have a really close bond here and we're a really tight group, I very much mean that. And I find I take it very personally that my responsibility and my duty is to the players and the staff and everyone at the football club. So it's I hope they feel that they've had that direction during this time. Only they will know. But I've worked very hard to try and give it. That's for sure. But it's a very individual concept, that direction, because we're all at different phases of our grief, and we're all at different phases of our celebration of Lee.
Absolutely. So what kind of things have you or the club been able to offer to support, whether it's players or staff or anybody around Huish Park?
Well, what I can offer them is I can always offer to be there, and I always am there, and we try and keep communication really regular. We try and endorse and encourage the players to share how they feel. If they want it from a purely a comfort point of view, then that's what we're here for. I'm certainly not an expert in psychology or anything like that, but I am a human being. I'd like to think I'm a pretty decent one. And if they wanted that comfort or that shoulder or anything like that, then they know I'm here, and we've had many an emotional conversation in the last 2 and a bit weeks. But as long as they know they can speak and reach out, and actually when you think about, from my point of view, my role is there's probably 35, maybe even moving towards 40 people in the football club that come under my line management, and when you want to make sure that every one of them's okay every day, that takes up a fair share of your day. So I just commit to that. I deal with my things in my own way. I'm a type of character that when something upsets me, scares me, I have to keep going back until it doesn't. So for me to deal with it, I came to the club every day after Lee passed, and I laid the first flowers in the memorial. I wanted somewhere for the fans to come and share their respects for Lee. And it was hugely upsetting, very upsetting. So many of the fans, I apologise now if I walk past you blankly without giving you the time that I could have done. But you find it very hard to speak when you're highly distressed. So I apologise if they're listening now, but I had to keep doing that. That was my way. I had to keep doing that until coming back to work wasn't so much of a problem anymore. so that when the players did come back, you know, I was able to compose myself and address them in an appropriate manner. But that everyone's different. Everyone's first time back here was different. Everyone's second time here was different. You know, it's been a case by case. But I've got to say the LMA were outstanding. They got in contact with me within 24 hours. They were very, very good. And there is care available to the players that we've made available to the players since day one. So some have chose to use it, some haven't. Some have chose to, you know, use each other, or me, or Terry, or Craig, to try and get through that period. But yeah, it's not been nice. And you know, the worst thing about it is that Lee's not with us anymore.
No, absolutely. And actually, you know, going through the sort of stages of grief, you're right, everybody does it in their own way and at their own sort of pace, effectively. Are you very much just trying to get on with things at the moment, and then perhaps the summer is when you'll have a little bit more time to, you know, to take stock and take a step back from it all?
No, I don't think so. I think I take it day by day. I've had to, you know, I'm quite an organised coach or planner, and people know what we're doing quite well in advance, because I'm a big believer in people having time with their families and being able to structure days and so on and so forth. But we've literally planned day by day. It's been we'll get through Thursday, we'll see what Friday looks like. I'm hoping, you know, today we'll get through today, and there'll be no kind of rise or spike in emotion from yesterday. And hopefully we can put ourselves in a position to get back to work at some point. We're going to have to at some point. So we've got to start making really brave steps to going back out there.
So just looking ahead to the weekend, when did you sort of collectively think, okay, this might be the match that we can put ourselves in this situation and get back out on the pitch?
Well, we made quite an early decision about Tuesday. I think Thursday I knew that we wouldn't be ready for Tuesday. Last Thursday, a week ago, we wouldn't be ready for this Tuesday's game. So we called that one off quite early. That was only, you know, some players didn't come into work last week, quite rightly so. Some did. Some needed the interaction and the exercise, and some felt they needed time. So it was a sort of a play-by-play. But what I said to the players, or what I offered the players on Sunday, was, look, we've got a clear week. Let's try and get ourselves in this position. We've got a week to prepare our heads and our minds and our bodies for a game Saturday. Let's try and get to that point. If at any point, if after today we don't feel capable, we'll make a phone call. And if people want to take that the wrong way, or if they want to start putting pressure on us, they can have their points. They can do what they like with it. But we feel, as I left yesterday, I think we feel in a better place. You'll see today we had a tribute for Lee yesterday, an internal tribute. So you'll see that later on today. But that was a big step for a lot of us, a huge step for a lot of us. And hopefully today we can come out of training with a purpose of going back to work tomorrow. And I've said this to the players 1,000 times. Lee would have hated all this fuss. He would have hated all of the fuss. He would have hated it. He's a real low maintenance guy, you know. So at some point we've got to take that brave step. We have to take that brave step.
And without sort of going into individuals, is everybody who is available sort of making themselves available, or are there some that you're going to have to be a little bit more careful with and might need an extra week or two?
I don't think I'll know that in the sense that you're alluding to. I don't think I'll know that probably until after today. I don't think so. There's been players that have been injured, obviously, prior to our last game, that have had restricted training this week. Murphy being one, Bradley being another. So they're day by day in physically, irrespective of their emotional state. So We'll play that one by ear again today, and see how we come out. That's, like I said, it's real day-to-day stuff, hour by hour stuff.
Yeah, and you sort of slightly dealt with it there in terms of the points not seeming important, but if you're getting back to it, does it all seem a little bit trivial in comparison to what you've been going through?
Not for me, and this is the real bit that I'm a bit cautious of sharing, because and I said it in my open letter, Lee and I came here to win. We came here to win. We didn't come here for anything else. We came here to be successful, to create an unbelievable bond, which we have done that. But we came here to win, and if we go out there tomorrow, we've got some fiercely competitive individuals in our dressing room, and they'll want to win. Charlie Lee won't play for just participation. It's just not in his nature. And once you cross that line, and the psyche starts to kick in again, I'm sure they'll be highly competitive. So we'll be trying to win. And Luke at Boreham will know that. He'll know me, and he'll know how competitive I am. But we got to make a brave step. At some point, we got to put ourselves back out there, and we got to make a brave step. Because, like I said, I came to the Oval to win, and that's what I intend to do.
And just finally from me, and Lee was such a big part of the club. How will you remember him, and what is your sort of abiding thoughts of Lee Collins?
Well, I'm kind of getting into that period now where I start to think about I call it the celebration phase. It's just the way I process things. Is that I'm starting to remember the really good things, the funny things. I mean, he was a wonderful character. I mean, so funny, such a dry sense of humour, but he was an absolutely magnificent human being, a brilliant human being. I had a really great captain at Stevenage in Ronnie Henry, who was my captain for 2 years, and I thought he was a wonderful captain, and was. But Lee was just an outstanding leader, and he commanded without really having to do much. In terms of putting himself up to the front, he didn't really have to do much to command everyone's respect, and he had authority about him. And my senior players are very important to me, and they make lots of big decisions at my club with me, because I'm a believer in giving people responsibility and accountability. And then you think to yourself, okay, well, who marshals the senior players? Is that me? Well, in this case, it wasn't. It was Lee Collins, and he ran the big characters at our club, and he was the personification, hopefully, of the manager. And we had a brilliant relationship.
Darren, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Darren, first of all, before I say anything else, I just want to, on behalf of the radio station, just offer our sincere condolences to Lee's family and friends, and obviously all you guys at the club, because it must have been a horrendous situation to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
We haven't had a real chance to sort of unearthly, as it were, but I don't really want to dwell. I think Ed's covered most of the aspects of poor Lee's death, and I think it's better to try and look forward now, and we've got to get back winning games, basically, from your point of view. How difficult do you see that being?
Sorry, Aid, I was blowing you up there. Can you just repeat that last bit? Winning games, how do I see that going?
Yeah, how do you see yourself getting back onto the winning games sort of situation?
I think, like everything, Aid, it's a step by step, isn't it? It's making those brave steps. Lee was with us for every game in the last 20 months, whether he was injured, available, selected, not selected, he was always with us, and he was always one of those that when he couldn't play, I always liked having him on the bench with me, because he used to look after me just in case I got in trouble. But we got to make that first step, and until we make that first step, I don't think we really know. And I've been in highly charged atmospheres before, but I don't think anything will compare to that first game, and maybe the first game back with supporters when we're able to really give Lee a tribute with our support base, and go from there. So is winning the be-all and end-all tomorrow, right here, right now? No. Will it be at 3 o'clock when Terry ushers me down the tunnel because I've been, I haven't got ready on time? Also, absolutely. I'm sure my mind will trigger back into that competitive and that winning sort of mentality, and off we go again. And he'd want that. He'd absolutely want that. He was the worst loser ever. So people like Lee, Terry, myself, we hate losing more than we enjoy winning. It's a weird mental state to have, but we're going to have to give it our very best, Aid, and all we can say is we'll be trying our hardest. Obviously we want to be winners for him, but we still want to do it with him, and we feel that, and it's going to be quite, it's going to be highly charged, that's for sure.
You mentioned sort of doing it for him. I was going to say, do you not think that the players, en bloc will be saying, well, let's get out there now and win this one for Lee, because it's such a a poignant game, and they're going to want to win it for Lee, because apart from the just sheer fact of getting 3 points.
Yeah, no, I think that's natural, but sometimes that works against you. Sometimes you can be so highly emotional that you don't think, it can work like that. So look, I need to, as the manager, as the leader, I need to be very open-minded to what can come out tomorrow. I need to be very balanced on what I may or may not see, and what may normally anger me, or what may normally make me happy and encouraged and appeased. But we need to be really open-minded. I think the fact that the players, after 2.5 weeks, are ready to go down the tunnel, back onto the pitch, is an incredible show of strength in any walk of life.
Having had so many games postponed, do you find the prospect of playing 2 games a week, I presume anyway, over the next remaining sort of 4 or 5 weeks, is going to be difficult?
I don't know what's going to happen at the end of today. We are day to day. If we get to a point tomorrow where we can play the game, and we get out there, then that'll be a huge step. Saturday may endorse or surface emotions that we've not yet gone through in our stages of of trying to get over this. So I don't know, mate. I've really no idea, but we're always going to do what we try and do, which is run very hard, play with a togetherness, a harmony, and if we can get those 3 things in any of our last remaining games, we'll win a few, that's for sure.
Well, from everybody at Three Valleys, wish you all the best, and,
Thanks,
and the team obviously, and everybody connected with it.
Yeah, top man. Thanks, Aid.
Sorry, if I ask a couple if I can.
No problem.
In terms of the decision to play, obviously this weekend, you said it on Sunday about having a clear week. What was kind of the moment where you realised that we can go this weekend?
Well, I think all of these decisions have been a big collective-based decision. We've kind of had an attitude that we are one. If one doesn't go, none of us go. So if one feels like they can't play or they can't prepare, none of us are going down the tunnel. That's the ethos we've had. We're all doing it, or none of us are doing it. And but there comes to a point where the anxiety, the fear of taking that first step can sometimes consume you. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to try and prepare the players to have a clear week, to have 4 more days of turning up, driving past the memorial, saying hello to Lee, doing a tribute like we did yesterday. I wanted them to have that kind of preparation phase in their head where they could get themselves ready and in line. And I don't know if that's going to be completed yet until we finish today, but yesterday was a really tough day, and we managed to train afterwards with some sort of resemblance of quality, I just at some point, if I look at all of and you have to use other examples. But if you look at any other huge disaster, and this is a disaster in the football world, at some point they've had to get back out there. And I think with that length of time, those 5-6 days, I just wanted to give them the best chance. Now, if at any point a player said to me, I can't do Saturday, we'll call it off. We're not doing this. We're not doing this unless we're all in together. And what I won't have is the players or the staff to feel under duress or anxious about saying, I'm not ready. If you're not ready, none of us are going out there. We're going to do this all together. And when we're all ready, we'll get back out there. So by the end of today, I might know that. By the end of today, I might have to call the game off. But whatever we do, we're going to do it as a collective.
You touched on that internal tribute yesterday. I appreciate it's an in-house and a private thing, but are you able just to sort of detail what you did and perhaps why you did it?
Yeah, well, we will share it. We will share it when we've had chance to, when all the key stakeholders in that have had chance to have a look and reflect on it and could give us consent. In all of this, the real kind of key driver for me was Lee's family and making sure that we, worked or applied ourselves or conducted ourselves with the utmost respect for Lee's family and his children. So that was the big thing. I didn't want to share, and this is me being maybe a bit harsh, but very open. I didn't want to share our respect or tribute for Lee with an opponent. I wanted that to be for us. Some of the players didn't want to share that moment's applause or silence before a game because of obviously what it brings to the surface. So we did an in-house tribute yesterday, and we had all of the staff that would have had contact with Lee during his time, all of the players of course, and I was really pleased when some of Lee's family turned up and they wanted to be part of it as well. They let us know they'd like to come and be a part of it, and we had his partner with us and Lee's mum and his in-laws, and it made it a really personal moment for us to share a footballing respect, a footballing tribute to take away all of the wonderful qualities Lee had. He was a fabulous footballer, fabulous.
And just to clarify, Darren, does that kind of mean that tomorrow there's no sort of plans necessary to do a kind of tribute, as it were, because you've done it?
Yeah, well, the next time we'll do it with our supporters. We like I said, we've had our reasons for wanting to do it before the game, which I think are the right reasons. Well, it doesn't matter if they're right reasons; they're our reasons, and they've made us feel a little bit better inside. And the next one we want to share is with our supporters, and everyone else to me comes second. The family first, the players and staff, and everyone that works at the club second, and our supporters. Everyone else, I haven't even considered. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know, but it's such a large group of people to have consideration over that. They've been first and foremost at my thoughts.
As manager, is it kind of a delicate balance that you need to strike in terms of, I suppose, keeping Lee front and centre, which I suppose in many ways, maybe all ways you want to do, in other ways, I suppose, as you said, to use your words, sort of spiking that emotion. I suppose is it a balance there and there?
I don't have to do much to spike them. Lee left that mark though. Lee had that admiration and respect within the football club. I won't have to try hard to keep him front and centre. I don't even think I have to try at all. Lee will be front and centre. He will be, he's a figurehead now, an epitome of what we love at this football club. I'll go back to how it will be tomorrow. Is that I think we've got to be really open-minded as to how each individual emotionally will be spiked. And I've got no idea until we make that first brave step. I've got no idea, but I'm not sure I'll have to do too much of a team talk tomorrow. I'm not sure if I will be able to do too much of a team talk tomorrow if we play. You know, my lip goes as soon as I see Carl Dickinson, I start to cry. So he has that way with me, Carl Dickinson. I don't know how he does it, but so we'll just try and get through that. But Lee will always be front and centre in my thoughts. You know, it'll be impossible to forget Lee.
Can I just ask, in terms of the support you've had from sort of the wider fraternity, Darren, what kind of, I suppose you've been overwhelmed, I'm assuming, what kind of have you received and felt from the football world and possibly beyond?
Yeah, lots of love and support as we, you know, there's a lot of good people out there. I think we're consumed with, you know, what's wrong and what's bad and hatred and things like that. But there are so many good people out there. First of all, you know, Terry's been incredible. I've got a brilliant family, and the football world kind of all reach out to share. I've got lots of brilliant friends and, you know, great support in the football world. Andy Scott, who I've been with since the very start, is an incredible guy. Terry Bullivant, the same, and Leon Hunter from Stevenage, and so many, and all the managers that reached out. You know, they were brilliant, and it was really hard because it took me 2 weeks to get back to them, because when you're trying to consume yourself in your responsibilities of your players and your staff, there's not much time for anything else. There's 30, 40 people to look after every day, and I take it really seriously that I do look after them or offer them that support. You know, it becomes quite difficult to acknowledge the support out there. The LMA were very good. I'm certainly more than happy to share that I spoke to a psychologist at the LMA, and he gave me you know, some real thought and context to the situation, took some of the emotion from it, which helps me in any way. But no, there's been an unbelievable tidal wave of support around us, and, you know, I'll be forever grateful to that.
And just lastly, if I can, does the club have any kind of plans in terms of possibly retiring the shirt number 4? Obviously, so many of the tributes that are related to his number, that seems to be the recurring theme.
Yeah. No, there's been a notion of it, but we've not really sat down and discussed it at this moment. I've asked Lee to stay on the squad list, and, you know, for Lee to stay on the squad list. Sorry. Because he's very much here with us. His locker's still his locker, and you know, his armband will be his armband, and we'll carry him with us. But, you know, I think that's probably a conversation to be had, maybe a little bit further down the line. We're still quite busy with the immediate after effects of his passing, and it's probably going to take precedence right now, but it'd be a nice touch, certainly.